Not long after Trump's comments about Ryan and McCain were published, running mate Mike Pence campaigned in Arizona and insisted the GOP is still united. Elaine, Ryan's campaign said it never asked for Trump's endorsement. Interestingly, Trump last night complimented Ryan's long-shot primary opponent, Paul Nehlen.
Major, if Donald Trump becomes president, he'll certainly need to work with Republican leadership. Does this latest round of friction make any political sense in any way?
It does in one sense and one sense only. Trump wants to make sure his supporters know he is relentlessly the outsider. And as the outsider, he will keep arm's length distance, if not longer, between himself and any establishment Republican figures in his way or that are insufficient in their support of him. We didn't mention it in the piece, Elaine, but Trump also said a lot of tough things about Kelly Ayotte, New Hampshire Republican, in a tough re-election bid, said she hasn't been a supporter, hasn't been strong, weak leader. All of these efforts suggest to Trump supporters that Trump will take on the Republican quote-unquote establishment. And for those Trump supporters, and I hear this all the time, they're not interested in the Republican Party. They're not interested in the Republican Party brand name. They're not interested in Republican Party leaders. So in this one narrow construct of the Trump approach to politics, it does make some sense. But in a much larger sense, it is problematic. Trump will need to win New Hampshire. He will need to win Arizona. He often describes putting Wisconsin, recently a Democratic state in presidential contests, back on the map. Well, to do that, you need a unified party, everyone pulling in the same direction, and everyone focused on a common opponent, in this case, Hillary Clinton. When you are focusing some of your attention negatively on those in your own party, that unity begins to crumble. That makes this, from an electoral college standpoint and a national campaign standpoint, highly problematic.
Well, Major, as you are well aware, we seem to go from one controversy involving Donald Trump to the next. And at this point, no single incident seems to make a difference. But I wonder, Major, could there be some kind of cumulative effect here?
We've always been looking for it. That has been the watchword along covering the Trump campaign, or as people have tried to assess the Trump campaign. Does there become a moment where the effect is cumulative, where you have a sort of heaviness around Trump that weighs on people either in their conscience, their sense of political temperament, or their sense of the presidency itself? Hasn't happened yet, but what we have seen since the end of the Democratic convention is a noticeable, though not entirely enormous, bounce for Hillary Clinton, 4 to 6 points, depending on the poll, and some diminishment of Trump support. So you see Hillary Clinton with a 6 to 7, in some cases 8-point lead. If that becomes a resilient sort of lead, and that sort of gets baked into the polling data we see all through the month of August, then you will know Trump is going to have a tough time in the fall building beyond the base of Republican core support he achieved first in the primary and assumes he will have in a general election. So I can't answer that question. Have we reached a point of critical mass with Donald Trump? I can tell you this. I talked to more than a dozen people waiting online in Ashburn, Virginia today. 8 of the 12 were solid Trump supporters, and nothing to date, he has said, has deterred them from their support of the Republican nominee.
All right, Major Garrett, let's see what the next 24 hours brings. Thank you so much.